months ago, last year, Tasha K, she basically took a victory lap. She was highlighting the fact that she resolved, as she said it, her case with Cardi B. She acted like she only needed to pay a little bit. It was just a payment plan. She still got to pay every dime, all $4 million plus interest. Part of why Tasha felt so happy and relieved that this was done was because Tasha was basically running around having to hide her funds from Cardi B because Cardi B was out here garnishing every which way from everywhere. So specifically, it said Tasha K was saying in some of the bankruptcy docs is that she was saying that the judgment by Cardi B made her, quote, panic and make hasty decisions that Tasha K felt were necessary to protect her family and her children, but that Cardi B contends those hasty financial decisions she made, meaning to hide her money, Cardi B felt that those decisions to hide her money were in violation of the court's order that Tasha K not move, sell, or otherwise get rid of any of her assets. And this is the bankruptcy plan documents. Tasha K acknowledges she unlawfully created all these trusts here. She calls one is the heavy trust for her children. Another one is the Transrena Management Trust, a Florida Trust, a Tatinol Family Limited Partnership. When I covered this before, I kept saying Tasha K would post the photo of her over in Africa in front of a bank, and she would just be egging Cardi on. And as Cardi B is trying to seek these assets, right? And I said, Tasha K needs to be careful because you cannot hide money from Cardi B without hiding it from the IRS, because the bankruptcy documents Tasha K was supposed to give over were the same types of documents that you have to provide to the IRS. It is not worth it to hide that money because you're going to end up going to jail. So ultimately, they came to this financial agreement. And this acknowledges in these bankruptcy documents that Tasha K even took $25,000 and opened up this type of account. She opened offshore accounts and she acknowledged it in these documents. Tasha K, I don't have no issue with her, but she hates me, baby. Oh, she hates me. She always talking about, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a real lawyer and this and that. But I'm glad she listened to that. I said, don't go to jail trying to hide this money from Cardi B. It ain't worth it. But check this out. So I had said, whenever I have clients call me and they are trying to collect money from someone, and said, look, if they have a YouTube channel, the good news is you can at least try to seize that Google money because Google pays the 21st of the month every time. And sure enough, that's exactly what it says here. It all came to a head because Cardi B garnished Tasha K's YouTube money. Oh, that got her. She got her. Now, she also garnished her Chase account, but Tasha K only had $1,000.83 in there. That's what this paragraph here says. So Tasha K touted it like, ha, you didn't get nothing. I didn't have nothing in that account. But baby, when Cardi B got that Google, that means for that particular month, Tasha K made from her YouTube channel $9,304.81. That is just from YouTube. That does not include her sponsors. You know how she'll be like, this is the wine, this is that. That doesn't include her sponsors. That does not include her, she moved everything to her own website with membership so that because she knew this was coming. Smart. So once Cardi B got that Google money, because the court order was going to allow her to take Tasha K's YouTube money every month. Cardi B was going to get $10,000 every month. That's when Tasha K said, oh, hell no, I got to file this bankruptcy. And so that's what this paragraph C is saying, that as a result of that, because there was a garnishment, meaning Cardi B could take the money, that the defendant then filed documents to basically come up to some type of financial agreement with the bankruptcy. So fast forward now, we're going to talk about Cardi B's baby daddy and what he is alleged to have done. And this is what started the beef between the two. Cardi B's baby daddy, which is Stefon Diggs. He plays for the Patriots. He's got a $90 million deal. I want to say $60 million of it is guaranteed. That's why Cardi B is like open to a lot of this foolishness. Right? Police charged him of assault and strangulation allegations. And what really ticked Cardi B off was that Tasha K then starts talking about this case and accuses Cardi B of witness tampering. Oh, of witness tampering. Yes. And here's the thing. Babe, here's the thing. I got them documents. I don't play. I'm one place you can come to for receipts. Here's the issue. Look right here. This is the actual bankruptcy plan. The bankruptcy plan has a non-disparagement, meaning Tasha K got to keep Cardi B name out of her mouth. Here's what's crazy. From the beginning, all Cardi B was asking for is for Tasha K to take the video down. This started in 2018, y'all. 2018. She just wanted her Tasha K to take the videos down because the videos claimed that Cardi B had AIDS, HIV, and that she did drugs. And that was terrible for her brands and all of that. Cardi B went, took an AIDS test, proved I don't have it, and said, take this down. Well, under the law, because Cardi B is a celebrity, you're allowed to say whatever you want about a celebrity as long as it's not what's called willful and malicious, meaning if you know good and well it's not true, you can't say it. But let's say Tasha K calls up a former best friend of Cardi B, and that best friend were to say, yep, she got HIV and she does drugs. Well, because Cardi B is a celebrity, and the defamation standard for celebrities is super high, because we should all be able to talk shit about celebrities, this is what the law thinks, then even if it was a lie, as long as Tasha K went to what appeared to be a reasonable source, she could repeat it. The problem was after Cardi B took the goddamn HIV test and drug test or whatever else and provided proof she didn't have the HIs or the Vs, Tasha K wouldn't take it down, kept lying about her. That's what created punitive damages, which means they multiply your damages. You have to do even more. And punitive damages, which are also called intentional damages, cannot be wiped out in bankruptcy. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why the bankruptcy could not get rid of Tasha K's debt. See, Tasha K was getting so many subscribers. She went from like 200,000 to 1 million. So I can understand as a businesswoman, you could see it as a marketing expense. Lawsuit caused her to get so many more followers in such a quick time. And if she's thinking, all right, I'm going to get all these new followers, I'm going to make all this more money, and then I could just file bankruptcy when it's over, we're good. The problem is she did not consult with a bankruptcy lawyer prior to coming over to her plan, because the bankruptcy lawyer would have said, no, girl, if you get punitive damages, which is what happens when you now know something is false and you keep saying it, you're not going to get rid of nothing in bankruptcy. So that's how we got here. So again, Cardi B was like, take it down, keep my name out your mouth. Tasha K, at the time, she could have got out this lawsuit paying zero. She told Cardi B, I can't not talk about you. I cannot agree to any agreement that says I won't speak about you, because you are such a famous person that I can't promise in the future something's not going to pop off that's going to require me to give my commentary. Okay, I get it. The problem is that when it was all said and done, the bankruptcy judge added this provision anyway. This is G non-disparagement, which says Tasha K can't talk about her. So basically, when Tasha K was like, oh, this is a victory, it's not, because you could have walked away paying zero. Now you're paying $4 million and doing the one thing you said you would never agree to do, which is not talk about her. Oh, and by the way, someone has a good point. This is her Tasha K's lawyer didn't tell her that before she filed for bankruptcy. Here's what I need you guys to know. And if you don't hear nothing else tonight, hear this. When you hire a lawyer, generally when we go to law school, we specialize in one thing. Bankruptcy is very, very specific. She went to somebody who pretended to be a defamation lawyer. That lawyer was so bad, I don't think there was no type of defamation lawyer. Defamation lawyers don't know bankruptcy code. So that lawyer likely would not have known that you can't get rid of punitive damages in bankruptcy. You would need to consult with a bankruptcy lawyer. So for that reason, I remind people all the time, let's say you got a car accident, but somebody that died in the accident, you needed a will, you need to go to a probate lawyer for that car accident, or come to a firm like mine where I work with all the different types of lawyer and we come up with a strategy all together. I would have told her this. I would have said, here's why this is dumb. You're not getting rid of that in bankruptcy, and then you're going to piss off the judge. All right. So look, I'm going to read to you real quick the non-disparagement part. And this is what is relevant to Stefon Diggs' situation today. Paragraph says, as a condition of Tasha K's bankruptcy, she is the debtor. It says, debtor, like her staff, her heirs, her affiliates, her husband, everybody agrees not to publicly make, publish, or communicate, whether directly or indirectly, any derogatory, disparaging, or defamatory statements, remarks, or comments. Those are called primitive comments about Cardi B. Oh, wait a minute. The judge said we're throwing everybody in there. It says it can't be about Cardi B, her family members, which include without limitation her kids born prior to and after the lawsuit date, her husband, her siblings, her parents, her step-parents, her grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and cousins. It said excludes any cousins more removed, more like second cousins. So your first and second cousins, she can't talk about, okay? But your third cousins, because nobody know who that is. That would include baby daddy, because it was family members, right? It says her family members. A baby daddy is your family member, even if you hate him. Therefore, that's in violation of this. And she said she cannot do that, quote, in any public forum or medium, including but not limited to social media accounts, websites, blogs, or other communication channels. It also includes channels that are controlled by her or her husband or any of her LLCs, on Wine with Tasha K, the wine cellar, any of that. It says that cannot be done, quote, whether or not it is done explicitly or implicitly. Like if you are talking about her directly or implicitly, then you violated this. And guess what? If you violate it, the whole payment plan can go out. That it is a material breach, and Cardi B can ask that the whole payment plan be done, and Cardi B can start garnishing stuff. So that's how come Tasha K went back and took down her stuff. But here's the allegation. This is a transcript from the police report. The incident happened on December the 2nd with his chef, allegedly with his chef, but it was reported on the 16th. This matters. Keep this in mind. This is the actual police report. They pasted the text on this page. It says, while assigned to the front desk, the victim entered the station to report a past incident. The victim appeared emotional and was initially hesitant to give a statement. She asked for a female officer. I checked the scheduling sheets and saw we didn't have one until 4. I let the victim know this, and I told her I'd give her a few minutes to think about things and that I understood if she was uncomfortable speaking with me. He was a guy. After a few minutes, she said that she'd give the report to me. I brought her into the interview room off of the lobby, and we began to speak. After taking down her info, I asked her to tell me in her own words what happened. She was hesitant to reveal the suspect initially, but I told her I could take a statement and we could talk about that later, as in his identity later. She went on to say that on December 2nd, she was working at a private chef. On that date, the male that she worked for entered into her unlocked bedroom. So apparently she was living there. They had been having an ongoing text exchange over money that was owed to her. She said they began to discuss this, which apparently angered the male. She alleges that the male then smacked her across the face. She said that she tried to push him away. The male then tried to choke her using the crook of his elbow around her neck. She said that he was behind her with his arm wrapped around her. She said that she did feel like she had trouble breathing and that she felt like she could have blacked out. She said that as she tried to pry his arm away, he tightened his grip. At that point, the male threw her onto the bed. He said something to the effect of, "Thought so." And then she told him that she still hadn't been paid. At that point, the male said lies and walked out of the room. She explained to me that he needs to sign off on payments in order for her to be paid. That makes sense. And it can also make sense why he might say lied, because I have to do that for my business. And sometimes I will tell my staff, okay, I've approved it, and they're supposed to add my signature. So if someone's like, hey, how come I haven't gotten paid? I may have been like, yeah, that was approved, So anyway, he said lies and she walked out. She explained he has to approve, which is why she confronted him directly, she said. I asked her if she had documented any injuries when this occurred. She said that she had some redness on her upper chest area, but did not take photos. Okay, guys, that's when I'm like, huh. Would you not take photos if you had redness and you knew you were dealing with failure to get paid from a $69 million man who had just hit you and tried to choke you? Oh, baby, I'm getting pictures of everything. I'm getting pictures of the bed if it was ruffled up. I'm getting, why wouldn't you take pictures of you? Even if you take a picture, like I've even seen where women took a picture of themselves and maybe by the time the picture was taken, you couldn't see it as much. But you could tell they were at least attempting to document what their body looked like. Now, check this out. Next, it says, at this point in the conversation, the victim revealed that the male's name was Stefon Diggs, who currently plays for the Patriots. Due to his fame, she said she was very hesitant to come forward with this. For me, due to his fame, I would be 10 times more likely to take pictures because I would assume I'm not going to be believed, number one. And number two, I know he's got staff and lawyers. So the more proof I have, the more I can take to the staff or the lawyers to get them to give me my money. Is what I'm thinking. The final paragraph is now saying, the cop said, I inquired about the details of her employment so I could understand the relationship. She said she began as a private chef on or around July 20th of 2025, and that her employment was supposed to go through the end of the NFL football season, which would be like January, February. She said she's normally paid by wire transfer, and the initial agreement was for weekly pay. She said that since she has been working there, she's been getting paid monthly instead. As of now, she said that she still believes she's owed a month's salary. In early November, she was told by Diggs that her employment was not needed for the week of November 7th to the 14th. This meant she would have to vacate her room for a week because he was having house guests. He told her to go home, and she said he did not provide any financial assistance for a flight to where she was going to go to stay with a friend. Okay, so not even her home. She wanted to go somewhere. So let's say it was Miami. He didn't give her money to go to Miami. And it sounds like this is where things went awry. And she said that's where she was going to stay. She said that since she did not ask to be sent home for a week, she felt it was fair that she still be paid her salary. Sounds reasonable to me. She said that is standard for this type of work arrangement unless the employee asks for time off. That's fair. Well, especially because that's also your home. So now you're not getting paid for the week and you got to find somewhere else to go for a week. So if you had to get a hotel room, that would be costly and you're not getting paid. It says, now after the alleged assault on December 2nd, the victim left her position, left her job, and left the residence to stay with a friend. She said that on December 9th, she returned to the house to get her property. At that point, she texted with Diggs, who told her to take up the monetary sum issue with his assistant. That makes sense because remember, she said she was handling the money with that person, but Diggs had to prove it. She said she spoke to the assistant from finance who explained that Diggs had requested that she sign a non-disclosure agreement before she could be paid. The victim did not sign any such agreement. Good job, girl. Listen, do not sign it. When you're leaving a job, you don't sign that unless they're going to give you something extra, more than the money they already owe you. Don't you ever in your life sign a non-disparagement without extra funds. Because like whenever you leave, even if you do a severance, sometimes they'll throw that in there. They need to give you more than just your salary to get you to sign that. In most states, that is actually the law. It might be across the nation now, but there was a court case a few years ago. The cop said, I told the victim we could proceed with an investigation and file charges, but she said she didn't want any charges filed at this time. Y'all, this is December 9th. I told her that as the victim, an officer would be following up with her regardless. I also let her know that if her mind changed, we could certainly go ahead with further investigation and charges. I also explained the process to her in regard to obtaining a restraining order. She said she did not wish to seek a restraining order, and she said that she did not wish to seek one. She said she just wanted to go home and had no intentions of returning, as in returning to this Boston area where he was living. She's from somewhere else. Says the victim was also going to email me any screenshots related to this incident at her convenience. Y'all, this is why I'm saying it is odd that she saw red marks on her body, but chose not to document them. But yet has screenshots related to the incident. So she did understand, you do need documentation. And then he says he also sent the DV risk assessment form and strangulation form. They were returned to her and added to the incident report. He said the screenshots were sent to me and added to the incident. And screenshots are always important because that gives the backstory, no doubt. But I'm just saying, when you're going against a mighty rich person, I think we all know we want more, as much evidence as possible. So these came from the screenshots. It said these came from a different number than initially provided. When I asked about this discrepancy, the victim identified this as a number where she had communicated with Diggs in the past. On December 20th at around 9:45 in the morning, I spoke to the victim over the phone, and we discussed how she'd like to proceed. As of this date, she still wanted to hold off on any criminal charges being filed. December 20th in the morning, she still wanted to hold off on any criminal charges. But I can see that if what you're focused on is getting your money and moving along, then that might be, especially if the other side is telling you like, okay, we'll get your check, we'll process your check. Because sometimes you could be concerned that like, okay, well, if I file this, it's going to prolong getting my money. I need my money so I can go home and move on. So it's interesting that she still didn't want to press charges. That is interesting. She said earlier in the week, she received a voicemail and text messages from a female that she believed to be Diggs' girlfriend, Cardi B. Based on these messages, the victim believed that Diggs somehow knew the police were contacted. The messages stated something to the effect of, you don't need to do all this. It's not that big of a deal. Interesting. I assured the victim, this is going to be important. Sorry, this is going to be important because Tasha K is going to say something about this. Again, she said the messages made her think that Diggs was informed police were contacted because a woman, she doesn't know who, but a woman said, you don't need to do all this. It's not that big of a deal. But remember, he also has a female that's his assistant and financial person. I don't know if those are two different people or the same. It says, I assured the victim that Diggs had not been contacted yet by any members of the Dedham police in an attempt to fulfill the victim's request to then contact Diggs. The police officer called him at 10:10 a.m. on the 20th of December. I contacted Diggs at the number provided by the victim. The call went straight to voicemail. I identified myself for a call back. I contacted him for a second time. It also went to voicemail, left a second message. I notified the victim, and she also sent me an email for a woman that handles Diggs' business interests. If I have not received a call back by 12:23, the cop said I'll reach out to her. In the meantime, I received an email and voicemail from the victim on December 22nd, expressing interest to go ahead with the criminal charges. I called her twice. On the 23rd, it went to voicemail. The cop said I left a message. And then on the 23rd, the cop spoke to her. She let me know she changed her mind from a few days ago, wanted to go ahead with filing the criminal charges. And the cop said he's going to be filing the criminal complaint against Diggs based on the victim's statement. Interestingly, I would be curious to know if she ever got her money or if she's still waiting. I'm going to assume she had not gotten paid yet. The two charges are assault and battery and strangulation and or suffocation. The assault and battery is a misdemeanor, meaning he's facing under a year. The strangulation, suffocation, that charge is like a minimum of is facing approximately 5 years. Now, Tasha K posts and says, witness intimidation charges coming soon. You can't contact an alleged victim on behalf of someone being prosecuted. Allegedly. Y'all, that allegedly word is going to get a lot of people in a lot of trouble. Some people think they could just throw allegedly out and it just makes A-okay whatever they say before. And it's not how that works. It's not how that works at all. So then they end up going back and forth. Cardi B calls Tasha K a bald-headed, obsessed B after she assumed, because Tasha K assumed that Cardi B reached out to Stefon's alleged victim. Cardi B is saying, no, the woman actually reached out to Cardi B. Now, I want to show you these text messages as well. This is a text message that Stefon posted from the chef to him. And he writes to her, I'm done having a texting match. You got it. Cool. The chef says, you'll be paying me out for the season and the money that you said you'd give me for my business. In other words, our contract was that I was to cook for you for the whole season. I didn't take any other clients for that season. You need to pay me for the whole season, even though I'm not working for you anymore. And she said, you wasted my effing time being here because you got a effing circus going on. I'm out of your life. So she says, I'm out of your life. That's a weird thing to say to your boss if you are the chef. I'm out of your life sounds like you have more than a chef relationship. What y'all think? I'm out of your life sounds like you are going to miss me in your life. Well, if I'm a chef and that's the extent of our relationship, well, he can get some more food. He's a millionaire. Okay, he writes back, I won't be paying you ish. If I look like paying you and paying another chef. He's saying like, I'm not going to pay you for the rest of the time you're not even here because he's got to pay somebody else. It says, is you high, B? Who TF got to give you money for your business? He says, I don't got to do a MFing thing. And you can get whoever you want. You got my address. Tell them to come take the money and then F you talking about. And then he says, show me I'm P. Like pussy. So that sounds like he's like, the money is here. Come and get it. I know some guys who are like that, who literally would be like, they will owe you money and they will literally be like, come and get it. Like, just wire it to me. They will really be messy like that. But this is giving like, I won't be paying you, but also to say you would give me money for my business. That sounds like more too. Or it could be pillow talking. I don't know. But it sounds like somebody gassing her up because it's either one or the other. I'm either investing in your business and then I'm getting a percent, or I'm paying you weekly for you cooking me food because you're my chef. What am I missing here? I want you to hear this audio from Cardi. Child, Cardi's so upset. Don't forget, you can go to SimoneRedwine.com. If you're injured anywhere in the nation, I represent those in serious injuries with free consultation. I want you to see what Tasha wrote, because this is really relevant, because remember, we got the disparagement agreement in place. Tasha writes, you know what? It's 2026. Let my bald-headed lion A ignore this. It's the same-ish, different year, Groundhog's Day-ish. We just transferred $44,000 cash. Anyhow, Happy New Year, winos, because every year she has to pay her like at least $1 million. So that 44 may have been like a quarterly payment under the bankruptcy. But Tasha K says, I'm a liar, just like the ends you got babies with been lying to you. I will die a liar, but you will die being a lie too. And Tasha K says, witness intimidation charges coming soon. And that's what I read before. You can't contact an alleged victim on behalf of someone being prosecuted. So then Cardi B, said as she is, she writes, first thing, she goes back because they started talking about Cardi B's daddy. And I don't know that Tasha K put this up, but somebody put up incorrect information that her dad was a pedo. That's not true. And we all know that's not true, because if it was true, Nicki Minaj or a Nicki Minaj stan would have brought that out when Cardi B was making comments about that. But I want you to hear this audio. Lord have mercy, child. Here we go.
I let you slide a lot with your money situation that you got going on, because it's like, you know what? It is what it is. Shit is old. Now you go see. And you better hope I don't get that restraining order on your ass, because I can. Boy, you got to be coming online to harass people and lie about people, because you got to take care of your kids, because your husband is just there. Your husband is your employee. Facts. All that money that you act like you got, all mad bread to taxes, and that is a fact. You out here begging the IRS, and that is a fact.
Begging the IRS, oh Lord.
Begging the IRS to not take bread because you owe so much money on unpaid YouTube checks, and that is a fact. And one thing about me, I don't owe nobody. I don't owe a soul. I don't owe a soul. I don't owe fucking nobody. My bills is paid on time all the time. One thing about me is I'd rather not splurge than owe anything. That's why you miserable. You could never bother me. This is not 2008. This is not 2019 and 2018 when people used to hurt my feelings and like I used to cry. Y'all don't got that power on me no more. You don't got that power no more. You're a scum. And I'm so glad I overpassed that. But bitch, don't ever get it twisted. Just the same way you think that you're doing something, I'll show you something.
What you gonna show us? Show us, girl.
Woo,
What you gonna show us?
this juice is nasty.
Oh, keep going. What you gonna show us, girl?
And everybody want to talk about sympathy and shit. Y'all don't even know half that I dealt with a fucking dancer. I don't play that shit.
See, I don't see proof that I don't see where Tasha said it about her dad either. It did get released, but it got released by Grok. This is the statement that was made about her dad. This FRL page, Female Rep Live, wrote, everyone's favorite go-to source of information. Grok claims Cardi B's father is a pedo. That was that page, not Tasha. Now, I don't know. I haven't even seen that they've said like Tasha K reposted or anything. So I don't think that it's fair at this point from what I've seen to say that Tasha said that about her dad. Tasha would not do that. The non-disparagement provision, I'm gonna put it right back on the screen, is too clear that she can do that. She's not going to do that. Grok, which is basically it's Chat GPT, but it's powered by Twitter or X, put this fact in that's totally wrong. It said Cardi B's dad was convicted of attempted R word in 1993 per Nassau County records. He served 5 years. The charge is real, not fake accusation to smear Cardi B. Check the court docs. Public record doesn't lie. That's what Grok said. And Cardi B states, first things first, my dad's never been arrested in this country. My dad's an immigrant from DR. He would be deported if he committed such a disgusting crime. That is 100% true. It says, I don't know why y'all like playing these games just for you to be fake mad when I post. This is the part though, but look below here. Tasha K is saying the part, witness intimidation charges coming soon. You can't contact an alleged victim on behalf of someone being prosecuted. So that's what was posted. Y'all tell me, do you think Tasha K violated the bankruptcy language by posting that and talking about her? So here's what it specifically says. Quote, that Tasha K cannot talk about Cardi B or her family. Debtor shall ensure, Tasha K shall ensure no content related to Cardi B and or her family, comma, whether explicitly or implicitly will be published or disseminated on any of debtor's social media accounts, websites, blogs, or other online channels. So the question is, does Tasha K saying that's witness intimidation, you can't contact a witness, basically the day after these allegations about Cardi B's boyfriend come out, and it is being alleged online that Cardi B reached out to the girl. Also that Tasha K, this started as well because Tasha K was going to interview the girl, the victim, and have her on Tasha K's show. So do y'all think that this would be Tasha K implicitly talking about Cardi B by Tasha K posting and saying, quote, witness intimidation charges coming soon. You can't contact an alleged victim on behalf of someone being prosecuted. My understanding under the law of implicitly, I add language like that because implicitly means you didn't use my name. You use facts that allow people to put two and two together and say, oh, she's talking about you. Further, Cardi B's attorneys would be able to use as proof the fact that after she said that, all these people start tagging Cardi and saying, Tasha talking about you, she's talking about you, she's talking about you. That's implicit. Yes, indirectly, it says she would have to prove who else it could be, right? And then we've got the time frame of this. Basically, this was right after it was released, and it was also stated that Tasha K reached out to the victim. The truth is, Tasha K, it would be dangerous for Tasha K to run the story at all because there's not really a way you can run the story without talking about Cardi B's family, because as ghetto as it sounds, y'all, under this non-disparagement agreement you see here that defines family would in fact be both her husband and her baby daddy. Although under the law, it would generally be presumed that person would be the same person. We have got a non-traditional relationship. It says her child's father is family. I agree. Indirectly, yeah, ain't Tasha K not supposed to talk about her or her man after Cardi B sued her? And yes, so that's exactly what we're talking about here, that if Cardi B could go to court, Cardi B could get a restraining order, which would prevent her again from talking about it. And Cardi B, if she wanted to, could set aside the whole payment plan. And she said Cardi B is going to be like paying her money until the end of time on her deathbed from her grave. Cardi B literally could go to court, ask for an order that this payment plan that they previously agreed to be set aside, and that Cardi B can start garnishing bank accounts and the YouTube accounts and the Tasha K Live accounts and all that stuff, because there is officially a violation of the bankruptcy agreed plan. And the craziest part of this all is Tasha K held out and did not want to agree to take down the information, did not want to walk away paying zero, because she said she could not agree to not talk about Cardi B into the future, because that's what Cardi B was requiring in order for them to resolve this years ago. She said, nope, Cardi B's too famous. I'm going to have to talk about her in the future. So I cannot agree that I won't, because I will miss out on too much money by not being able to talk about her. Lo and behold, with the bankruptcy, the Tasha K can't talk about her. And now Tasha K has to pay $4 million to not talk about her. And also now can't talk about Stefon, can barely talk about the victim, but you have to find out how to talk about the victim in the scenario without referencing her baby daddy, because that's her family. Tasha K is doing big things. She really, really is. She needs to back off this Cardi thing. It's not worth it. And Tasha K is doing so well. She said, I just transferred $44,000 and then I just paid Cardi B some money. That was the whole beauty of the payment plan they just agreed to. Just agreed to this, y'all. Was it allowed Cardi to get off Tasha's back. Tasha don't have to hide funds, don't have to create offshore bank accounts, which is what the document, you roll back. I read more pages that acknowledged Tasha K created offshore bank accounts. She had bank accounts in the Caribbean, all kind of stuff in different places. For my members, I'll actually add this to the Members Live link so y'all can see the whole thing. Y'all can read all of it. It also talks about how Cardi B garnished her YouTube check. That YouTube check that came was $9,000 and change. And that is what had Tasha K running the bankruptcy court saying, okay, with this garnishment, we got to come up with something. We have to come to an agreement. So in the end, Tasha K she's making more money. The payment plan says that as Tasha makes more, she has to pay Cardi more, but that Cardi is not going to start seizing assets as long as Tasha doesn't violate it. However, it seems like Tasha K making these statements about Cardi B's baby daddy and Cardi B herself, by basically accusing Cardi B of witness intimidation, may have violated the entire agreement and now expose Tasha K to have to pay it all up or go back to court all over again. What y'all think? Let me know in the chat. Let me know down below. Let me know what other cases y'all want me to cover this week. There's just so much that's been going on. Of course, we got Yandy and Medicis. Can't forget about them. Let me know what you prefer in the chat. Also, don't forget, I need to get my analytics back up. So please share this on Facebook, share it on Twitter, whatever. Hit that like and resubscribe if you didn't already. It said, Simone, did I see? Yes, I saw my shout out from Sherry Shepherd. I covered that at the very beginning of this live, so you can roll it on back. It says, Stefon Diggs is required to file a petition for legitimization in court to be legally recognized as the father of his baby with Cardi B under Georgia law. In pretty much every state, if a woman is married, the husband is presumed to be the father of the child, unless in the divorce paperwork, they state something else. So Cardi B, when she was pregnant, that was part of the holdup and what was making that divorce linger. And now it's also the debts that were accumulated. And Cardi B is like, you don't never pay your taxes. You never save money. I made investments. I did all this stuff offset during our marriage. I don't want to have to pay your stupid taxes when you took your money to trick off on bees. Share, like, and subscribe. Thank you guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you later in the week. I appreciate you.
Is that legal? Is that legal? Is that legal?